My name is Maria Norman, and I'm an artist, filmmaker, drag performer, costume maker, priestess of nature, and independent researcher. I research subjects and persons from the art, dance, and entertainment world of the so-called La Belle Époque, the time span roughly between the years 1871 and 1914. In this video, I look at 3 costumes from the Moulin Rouge show Feerie, Fairyland, which has been running since 1999. I've made drawings in which I have redesigned the contemporary costumes and made them into 1890s versions. In its early form, the Moulin Rouge was an entertainment palace with several stages, including a grand ballroom, which hosted its most famous performance, the can-can, or as it was also known, the cutout or the quadrille. Artists such as Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec helped to make it world-renowned and legendary. And yes, it still exists to this day. Its current form is a cabaret scene where you sit down at a table and view the show. The Moulin Rouge of today has its own costume atelier, and the craftsmanship which goes into the making and mending of the costumes is state-of-the-art. The budget for the costumes in Feerie was €4 million. The garments are genuine, the material in the can-can dress weighs 5 kilos, 11 pounds, the costumes are adorned with Swarovski crystals, and so on. Yet I'm allowed to have an opinion on the design of the costumes, right? And some just ain't it for me. I do have some favorites, but, to quote my friend Aggie, that's not clothing, that's armor. And I do not like that their requirements for their female performers is to be over 175 centimeters, 5'9", with a slim and graceful figure. I've heard explanations as to why, but I believe they miss out on a lot of talent. Many of the stars in the 1890s were short and did not have a slim and graceful figure, whatever that means. Yet they were fantastic performers and big stars. I like the fact that back in the day, the focus was on them as individuals rather than for the dancers to be able to blend in with the others. That said, I would hate it if the present-day Moulin Rouge had to close for some reason. Now, let's look at my takes on 3 of the costumes from the Moulin Rouge show Feerie. And yes, I made the cutouts. By hand, with paper, color pens, and scissors. So, the famous can-can dress. First thing I want to say is this choker, the poppy, is actually on the other side of the neck, and this ribbon is on the other side of the leg, but I drew it like this so it would be more visible on this drawing. First thing we want to do with this is actually to add to this one. Yeah, so instead of a generic bow, a red windmill. Hear me out. You are the actual Moulin Rouge. Show it. I propose that you should do this change now. Like change all the bows on your can-can dress to red windmills. But now, let's see what this looks like in 1890s version. First thing we do is stockings. So the stockings would have been up to above the knee and be held together or in place with a ribbon. Yeah, and also I added shoes because, yeah, reasons. And the shoes are a bit smaller than this boot form. Yeah. So now, next step, we can choose actually between, let me get it here, combinations, or camisole plus pantalon. And yes, this one, as well as this type of pantalon, would have been open in the crotch, Not always though. And yeah, nothing was worn underneath. But I'm gonna choose the combinations actually. Next up we have corset. And other people have explanations as to why dancing in a corset wasn't a complete nightmare. My own short explanation is that it was, well, made to measure, and it's more flexible than people think. It's actually molded to the body, much like a shoe, which needs some breaking in before it's actually comfortable. But to protect this corset, we have a corset cover. Next up is the petticoat. Frilly, lacy petticoat. There. So that's the undergarments, which gives structure to the outer garments, which I will show right now. There, and the skirt. Stay in place. Up you go. There. So this one is actually not that far off from this. This one is just structured differently, and yeah, I would have this part more fluffy and rounded rather than these straps. And there were actual garments which had mills on them, so that's another reason to do this. And lastly, we have accessories such as choker necklace. Yeah, they were popular in the 1890s, so just make it blue with a little bun instead. And ginormous hat with a feather and a ribbon. So yeah, that's it. A bit different, but still not that much different actually. Now, let's look at the futuristic Barbie hot pink space fantasy with pink sausage decorations and Christmas lights ensemble. Okay, I actually do like this body and this shoulder piece. The rest, it's just not it. Well, the wings with the lights, maybe. But the rest and the dangly pink things, no. Also, I gotta say that the details, such as this one's, they vary a bit from depending on what place in the troupe you have. So it would look different if you're the principal dancer, etc. But yeah, so for this one, come here, you. I didn't really want to repeat myself in terms of undergarments, but we gotta start somewhere, and camisole, short chemise, and now I am, yeah, probably you will see why, because of the design of the actual costume, but something what we today call a panty. And next step, corset. But this time, let's just skip the corset cover. The shoes would have been more small and with a short heel rather than these chunky ones. And now the outer garment is made up of different parts, but I am presenting it as, well, one cut out part. Here. There. So I kept some of the elements of the original design, but I made this one more asymmetrical because that was very much in vogue at this time. So one side of the garment would be, yeah, having something which was not found on the other side, for instance. And instead of the pink sausages, I made a little train with frills. Stay in place. Next up, a choker. And final thing, huge hat with some of the designs from the contemporary one. So yeah, this one is more of a, well, showgirl or carnival type outfit, but that was something that happened at the Moulin Rouge as well, because they had so many different kinds of entertainments, even though their most famous today and back in the 1890s was the can-can. Last up is the Moulin Red Swarovski crystals dress. This one had so little actual textile, I just had to kind of use what was available. But yeah, this choker actually has some blue in it. So the stockings can have blue details. And the shoes are included, because they were so itty bitty that they kept getting lost. I sneezed and it went away, kinda. Next we have, yes, camisole to protect the corset. Also pantaloons, closed in the groin this time. Camisole to protect the corset from direct contact with the skin. And next up, yes, corset cover to protect the corset from contact with the outer garment. Yeah, imagine that this was once considered as, well, naked as this. Now, for the magnificent petticoat, beauty. Here goes, stay in place. So, now, gloves. Which would have been, well, with fingers, unlike this one. For the overgarment, the dress, I went with this striped design. Let's see. Striped and with blue, grey and white floral decorations around the bust. And the Swarovski panty was made into a belt. Lastly, something itty bitty actually. Choker necklace, blue. And to my mirror the feathery headdress, we have a ginormous hat. on which I placed the forms of the contemporary design. So, that was my take on 3 of the costumes from the Moulin Rouge show Feerie. Question: have I been to the Moulin Rouge? No. Follow-up question: why not? Well, when I visit Paris and Montmartre, I seek traces of the 1890s and like the early 1900s. This is not present at the present-day Moulin Rouge. They themselves say this. It's simply not the same kind of show. And the show and its setup, however skillful and elaborate, doesn't really interest me. And paying between 88 to 120 euros is a hefty sum to pay to be able to say, yes, I have been there. Although next time I might go. As an artist, if something is inspirational to me, I can deduct it from my taxes, right? The venue itself actually burnt down in 1915, so although the Moulin Rouge of today is on the same site, the building is not the original. For a real taste of the 1890s La Belle Époque Montmartre, you should venture up the hill to the artistic cabaret Lapin Agile. In this tiny but genuine Montmartre cabaret, French chansons have been sung for circa 166 years. The same house still stands, and for the price of 1 Moulin Rouge ticket, you can go to Lapin Agile at least twice, if not thrice. This video is not sponsored by Lapin Agile. That was all I had for now. Et malheureusement, mon aéroglisseur est plein de anguilles. Je ne parle pas français. Je suis désolée.